Life is a journey with problems to solve and lessons to learn. And above all, it gives experiences to enjoy. We often say that life is 10% what happens to us and 90% how we react to it. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the program Dr. Tapaswini's Corner. Surviving cancer is not the end of a story. It's the beginning of a beautiful one. So we have such live examples of survivors today who endorse this thought. So let's welcome Mr. Satish Kaushal ji to the program. Welcome, Satish ji. It's such a pleasure to have you on for this show today.
It's an honor to be here on this platform to talk to you and to many other people who would have traveled this journey. And not a very welcome journey in the minds of few people, but it is an inevitable journey.
Yes.
So we'll have to live with it if somebody is confronted with the situation that I went through.
So you are the Executive Director of Ernst & Young Global Limited, which is a huge multinational professional services network. It's been 30 successful years into this profession, dealing with thousands and thousands of global and Indian customers. You are a workaholic, working 18 hours a day with a strict, disciplined curriculum. You turned 65, I'm told.
Yes, 66 to be honest.
Oh, 66.
Yes.
So I'm sure that
Yes.
early morning greeting from our Honorable Prime Minister must have been a blessing.
Yes, I was pleasantly surprised on 7th September when Honorable Prime Minister's birthday greetings came to my Twitter handle, and I was pleasantly surprised to see him wishing me all the good health, wishing me success in my life, and also giving his blessings.
Was September 2016 a turning point in your life?
It was one of the the biggest turning points in my career, in my life till then. The life before that, as you said in my introduction, was one in which I had worked starting from a banking career to an information technology firms, working with companies like Microsoft, IBM, and then now with Ernst & Young. Prior to that, I traveled and worked in different countries, Middle East, Germany, UK, US, and in India with the government sector for almost 25 years country. So I was hopping from one city to the other city, talking to various bureaucrats, talking to people from overseas, trying to get in FDIs into the country, working day and night towards that. Suddenly I started building some sort of a throat infection and irritation.
Okay.
Initially my thoughts were that because of my extensive travel, weather changes, and different types of food that I was eating in different places, perhaps it's causing the irritation. So I was doing gargling, going from one city to the other, and for a few days it subsided. I personally took antibiotics myself. It didn't go away. Then I had to show it to an ENT specialist who right at the beginning itself suggested that I should get deeper diagnostics done.
Right.
And that is how it brought me to your hospital and to you personally. And you examined it, you did a biopsy, and you asked certain questions while you were doing the biopsy.
Right.
You suspected something but didn't say anything.
Okay.
And you started asking me how has been my lifestyle, how has been my way of living. And when I told you on the bench in which you were doing my biopsy that I lead a very Spartan, simple life style, without drinks and without alcohol and tobacco, you said there's nothing doing. I don't think anything is going to happen to you. This should come negative, be rest assured. So I went home, and after a couple of days, when I was asked to come and meet you, you had that news that no, that expectation was incorrect. It turned out to be carcinomas comus.
I'm sure it must have been a bolt from the blue. Huh?
Yes, it was definitely a setback at that time.
Were you in a state of denial when we declared that yes, this was cancer? Did you think that the biopsy report probably could be incorrect?
Not once, but multiple times.
Oh,
Let me tell you the truth. Even today, I think that way.
yes.
Many a times,
Okay.
I think even today that perhaps my biopsy report was not correct. This thought that I had led such a simple, straightforward life, almost my whole of my life, and the cause of this is because of these habits. But almost all the results after which then I had to go through proved it otherwise. So I had to accept it.
Yeah.
Right. And so if I were to say that no, I was not in a denial mode, it will be incorrect. I was definitely thinking that it is not correct. That I would, and this biopsy report might be of somebody else. It might be something,
Something
some
else,
wrong sample.
yes. So when cancer struck, did you think that God was unfair with you? You never smoked, you never had alcohol. So why was he so unfair? And then why me, of all the people?
Well, Dr. Tapaswini, I must say that I never had that feeling, why me? And I never thought that God has been unfair to me. Because if you see around, there are so many other miseries that people go through.
True.
Right? We are thankful and should be always grateful for every moment that God has given us so much in our life. What stood by me during that period was I accepted it as a reality. I apologized to God that if I have done something wrong, I seek His blessings. And I was grateful to Him for everything that He has given me so far.
Lovely.
And I did think that my next step should be much more positive and constructive to fight it out.
Excellent. So one bad chapter doesn't mean that the story is over. So if things are good, it's wonderful. If it's bad, it's an experience. You know, it's God saying, "Waqt बुरा है पर साथ तेरा है. ये वक्त भी गुजर जाएगा. ये विश्राम मेरा है." So it's like a pause which is there in our lives. And so we move on, we accept what God's given for that period of time. And that's what I find beautifully in your thoughts.
Yes, I do think that, the life is like a sinusoidal wave. It will go up and down, go up and down. And these waves don't stop. So to remain positive throughout the journey of anything, something which will give you freshness every morning when you get up. And I did believe in it that, yes, if I look back, and that is what came in my mind at that time, that I have been a salesperson throughout my career. I had sold many products and solutions to different customers. We fought competition. We won somewhere, we lost somewhere, right? So from that perspective, this was one more battle to go into. Fine, we'll accept it.
So what did Dr. Google say? So when you were declared you have this particular cancer, did you Google in and figure it out? What needs to be done?
Let me bring the cat out of the bag right away. I never saw Google.
Really?
Throughout the journey. Yes, I did not. And I also asked my family members not to Google. For me, Google is a means and medium to have some knowledge. The best person around you at that time is a doctor.
Exactly.
Right. If you have an immense and a tremendous faith in your doctor, then I think Googling around is the worst thing that you can do to yourself in any disease, be it this. So I did not see Google at all. Even when I had ample time at that time, I did not.
Most of the patients do it, and I thought you would have done it. You know, they come to the OPD so well read, and then they quiz you so much. They actually make you feel that you haven't done your homework. You know, so I used to keep a mug in my room, and it used to say, "Don't confuse your Google knowledge with my MBBS degree." And I would quietly turn that mug to them and let them see and appreciate. Listen, we have spent years and years with all our heart put into so many hours into our books. I don't think a 30-minute search on your Google has given you so much of knowledge that you can come and quiz us.
You should tell your patients,
Yeah.
half knowledge is much more dangerous than full knowledge.
Exactly.
Right?
In fact, it scares life
Google is
out of
just
the patient.
Google is just a 1% knowledge. There are so many parameters when you see as a doctor in an individual. Google will not give you that information, is my belief, maybe right or wrong.
You're correct. Absolutely correct. So, you being in a corporate sector, you are a teetotaler. I mean, how come you could resist this temptation of not smoking, not drinking alcohol? People talk about peer pressure. And we would love to know, how did you resist this temptation?
Well, I think I must be grateful to my family and my upbringing, my spiritual bent of mind that throughout, and good friends that I had, that perhaps were elements of that habit in me of not getting into these smaller vices, if I can say, or the dependencies of an individual around those issues. I do believe that a simple living without these things is far more important to the health of an individual than the temporary kicks that you will get after consuming some of these things. In my own profession, I have seen many people not able to do meaningful talks and dialogues and negotiations if they are intoxicated. So they lose not many times if in a social setup they say something which was not warranted. So best way is not to take it.